Hello and welcome to the Channel 1 Newsroom from our studios at number 5 Ola Hansen Lane at Tesano in Accra. I am Umaru Sanda Amadou. Coming up, journalist with Class Media Group narrates horrific ordeal in the hands of fire service personnel.
Then a few minutes, I saw them coming in their numbers, about 10 of them, including the guy who approached me. So they came and then they held my neck, pulled my hands behind me, and then started assaulting me. They took my phone, torn my belt.
Coalition of Unpaid Teachers demands payment of 10 months' salary arrears.
Issues in salary arrears cut across not just the education sector. Even our colleague nurses have also not received their arrears. So it's like a matter of priority. It's a matter of priority right now as to whom they would have.
Hundreds throng the Condolence National Mosque to pay last respect to Ayawaso East MP who died on Sunday. Traditional leaders in Jura and Percy in the western region unhappy with operations of Chinese-led PRP mining company.
Kevin Taylor or Dabuchi, also not the China for baby Buhanama, or Moye Galamisi. The China for some China for Yamahadu.
In Channel 1 business, businesses begin to reduce prices of goods and services following reforms to the VAT system. And in Channel 1 sports, Ghana Football Association bans 2 Division 1 teams from playing at home after violent behavior of supporters. We're grateful that you took time off to join us here for the Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 Television. Now, a journalist with the Class Media Group, Samuel Ado, has been assaulted by personnel of the Ghana National Fire Service in Kasua in the central region for filming officers who were allegedly brutalizing civilians during a fire outbreak at the Kasua New Market. The incident occurred as nearly 196 traders continued to count their losses after the fire ravaged almost all their wares. Central Regional Correspondent Akwesiado reports.
While covering the fire outbreak, the journalist observed some officers of the Ghana National Fire Service physically assaulting civilians at the scene. His attempt to record the incident reportedly angered the officers, who demanded that he surrendered his mobile phone and delete the footage before he could comply. Officers allegedly pounced on him, assaulted him, and forcibly seized his phone. The journalist says he also lost an amount of 10,200 Ghana cedis during the attack.
So I made a report on the morning show. So after the report, I decided to approach the fire servicemen to also take their side of the story. But upon reaching where they were stationed, I saw them beating up, assaulting the civilians around. So I decided to capture the scene. So as I was capturing, one young fire service personnel approached me, and I introduced myself to him as a media personnel. So he went back. Then a few minutes, I saw them coming in their numbers, about 10 of them, including the guy who approached me. So they came and then they held my neck, pulled my hands behind me and then started assaulting me. They took my phone, torn my belt. So later I realized that my bag is opened. The bag has been opened. So upon further check, I got to realize that my money is missing. About 10,200 got missing out of that.
The incident has since been officially reported to the police, and a medical form has been issued to the journalist to enable him seek medical attention. The Central Regional Fire Service Commander has assured that investigations into the incident will be conducted.
The matter is under investigation because I have to investigate and know the true cause, because some of the men attack our firemen. Some of them were holding knives and other things. But as I said, we'll look into it to investigate and we'll give you back the report.
Meanwhile, a total of 196 shops were destroyed in the fire outbreak, which occurred on Sunday, leaving hundreds of traders devastated. According to the Chief Executive Officer of the Kasua New Market, Alhaji Harun Tete Mensah, the blaze wiped out the wares of hundreds of traders.
We have 196 stores. They are not containers per se. But then what happened is that we have given them stores. But then some of them had mounted the metals as containers. So they've turned them into a mini shops. And that is where they keep their wares and everything. So it isn't like a container or whatever it is. That's not it.
So 196 stores have been affected?
Yes, 196 stores have been affected by this current situation.
Each store is to a trader?
Yes.
Poor accessibility to the market and the absence of water hydrants significantly hampered firefighting efforts during the incident. Preliminary investigations by the Ghana National Fire Service have linked the cause of the fire to faulty electrical wiring.
When they arrived, they detected electrical faults, and when we went to the in charge of the place, the CCTV camera to improve the same thing, that the source of the fire was electrical fault.
The National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, has declared the affected area unsafe and has cautioned the public against consuming food items impacted by the fire.
Still counting their losses are 196 traders here at the Kasua New Market aftermath this devastating fire incident. These traders are therefore appealing for a timely support to keep them back into business. For the Channel 1 Newsroom, I am Akwesi Ado, Kasua Central Region.
Meanwhile, the Ghana National Fire Service has confirmed that the police have launched an investigation into an alleged assault on Class Media Group journalist Samuel Ado while he was covering a fire outbreak at Kasua New Market in the Central Region. Reports indicate that the journalist was physically confronted by some fire service officers who allegedly tried to prevent him from filming the scene. A video which is circulating online shows Mr. Ado being manhandled amid a chaotic scene with some personnel shouting at him. Let's get more details on this particular matter from the head of PR at the Ghana National Fire Service, Divisional Officer 2, Desmond Aka. He's joining us via telephone. Sir, you're welcome to Channel 1 Newsroom.
Thank you for having me, Omar.
So we've seen a video clearly of your men in uniform assaulting a person in that video. The earlier conversation I had with you suggested that yes, there was an assault, but not on a journalist. Is that the position of the fire service?
And so, Omaru, when you check the video, first of all, let me say a very good evening to your cherished viewers. When you check the video very well, you would understand that an assault was meted out to one suspected thief, but we don't support that. That is why an internal investigation has commenced to be able to bring our people to book. And so we want to reiterate the fact that we don't support any form of assault, whether on a civilian or on a journalist or even on a firefighter. And therefore, we strongly condemn that. But in the same video, you will see another gentleman also being whisked away from what we term as the hot zone. In our modus operandi, when we attend to any fire, there is an incident commander. The incident commander is responsible for managing the incident, and therefore he decides who works at the hot zone and who does not. And based on the prevailing conditions, he advises as to whether the men should retrieve or should continue with their work. And is responsible to also ensure that the men even working at the hot zone are safe. And therefore, whoever comes at an incident scene must be able to seek appropriate and express permission from the incident commander. So it is, even when the chief fire officer who assumes command, even at incident that takes national scale, he also comes, or he or she comes to the incident scene and then has to approach the incident commander for briefing before he or she takes over from the incident commander. And so whoever comes to the incident scene, whether you are a journalist, whether you are an officer, or whether you are a media person or whatever, you must almost always seek permission from the incident commander. And it behoves on the incident commander, if let's say you are a civilian, definitely it means that you may not be protected adequately to enter into the hot zone. So the onus lies on the incident commander to provide you adequate, at least some minimum kind of protection to enable you work in the hot zone. When we say the hot zone, that is where the real action is taking place, whether it is fire, whether it's a road crash, or whether it's an accident with a falling tanker leaking fuel or gas or whatever. That is where the risks are. And there could also be secondary explosions and what have you. And therefore, we don't expect people to throng or to just crowd over the hot zone. That is why we always advise people when they come to emergency scene that they should stay clear of the incident scene, because if for nothing at all, the firefighter is insured. Okay. He has some form of compensation. Therefore, any other person coming to the hot zone for whatever reason may not necessarily be covered by an insurance or something. So our men...
Mr. Aka, what I want to say is that, so you do this professionally, you've done this for years, we respect the work you do and all of that, but you would agree that the thuggery we saw, the violence we saw, has marred the beautiful work that you would have otherwise done. Is there any justification for an assault on whoever that was assaulted, as we are seeing in that video, which is rolling on the screen?
Amaru, let me reiterate again that nobody in the Ghana National Fire Service supports this. And therefore, we condemn that assault on even the suspected thief. We were expecting our men to have whisked him away, just as they whisked the other person to the police station and reported the matter officially. We were expecting that our men should have also whisked him away rather than subjecting him to that kind of beating. And that is what we condemn. And that is how come management has set up this internal investigative team to go into it and then ensure that we apply the sanctions as enshrined in our disciplinary code LI 1725. And therefore, we will not support anything of that. So the same way, we also expect you, our friends in the media, to also support us. Anytime a firefighter is assaulted, even though we have seen in times past that a section of the media, including your outfit, talks about assaults against firefighters. But I think that it looks as if the media is exerting some form of energy or some form of kind of attention has been given to this purported attack on a journalist. So it doesn't mean that if it is a journalist that is assaulted, that is where the media comes in. But if a firefighter is assaulted, nobody talks about it. Nobody gives that.
You have mentioned, Mr. Aka, it's good that you have mentioned that we have given you the platform and opportunity to talk about the attacks on your personnel over the period. And so that would be the issue. And it is the same thing that we are doing tonight in having a conversation with you on these journalists. Now, the question is, what punitive measures are going to be or ought to be taken against your officers for the conduct that they engaged in?
Well, so the highest form of punishment that can be meted out is dismissal. So if after the investigation it comes out that these officers deserves to be dismissed. Why not? We will do that and we'll let the public know. But
Okay.
we don't support any form of attack, whether on a civilian or firefighter or a journalist.
Okay.
And we would also want to be able to help the police to get to the bottom of this. If it so happens that the said journalist who is alleging that he has been assaulted, it so happens that it is true and our men did that, we will subject our men to face the law.
Okay.
If it also turns out that he is also throwing that into the public's eye to cause disaffection for the Ghana National Fire Service, we will come at him with all the force that we have.
Okay.
And we will make sure that that thing does not happen again.
There's another
Because
claim he
fire
has
service
made.
deserves better. Our lives matter.
Okay.
We are working under the strenuous condition with limited resources, but we have dedicated our lives to serve the good people of Ghana, and we demand the same respect
Okay.
that is given or accorded other people elsewhere, because we are doing what Napoleon could not do. Just last year, we were able to salvage more than 500 million worth of properties from being gutted by fire. We were able to reduce the numbers of fire outbreak to a significant level. And then prank calls have also reduced to about 40% out on our rival cases, which means that our public education campaigns is also gaining roots, and then people are now becoming accepting of the fact that they need to take precautionary measures to safeguard their wares. Has also gone up to about 35%. These are the kind of things that we are doing that we want to be able to sustain.
Okay.
So if something like this happens, an isolated case, and we want to bring the hell on Ghana National Fire Service, I think that we are not being fair to the Ghana National Fire
Finally,
Service.
the
But
journalist.
we still want to reiterate the fact that
Yes.
we will not support any form of attack
Very
on
well.
any
Understood.
other individual,
Okay.
be it fire service, a firefighter, or a journalist, or
Okay.
even a civilian.
The journalist said he had 10,200 cedis on him as of the time your men attacked him, and he's lost that money. What's the service's response to that?
Omaru, I want to restrain myself, and I want the police to kind of do their investigation, because this journalist, you should be very careful. We want to be able to get to the bottom of this. If he says that our men took his money, he should provide evidence. And we are ready. Our men too are ready to assist the police to get to the bottom of this. And if like I've indicated, if it turns out that he is lying or he's doing that in the eyes of the public to cause disaffection for the Ghana National Fire Service, he should also be ready, because we are ready for him.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
My pleasure.
Desmond Aka is head of PR at the Ghana National Fire Service. This is Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 Television. Now, President John Dramani Mahama has paid a condolence visit to the family of the late Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East, Nasir Ture Mahama, at their residence in Accra. The four-term legislator passed away on Sunday, January 4, at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital after a brief illness. During the visit, President Mahama described the death of the MP as shocking and urged the bereaved family to remain steadfast and united in this difficult moment. Details in the following report by Channel 1 News' Fauzu Masaudu.
Until his passing on Sunday, January 4th, Nasir Ture Mahama, affectionately known as Mark Nasir, served as a Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East for 4 consecutive terms. He held several key roles in Parliament, including Deputy Chairman of the Energy Committee and Chairperson of the Greater Accra Regional Caucus. Friends, family, parliamentary colleagues and members of the public gathered at the National Mosque for the Janazah prayers led by the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Nuhu Osman Sharubutu. Several dignitaries present paid glowing tributes, describing the late legislator as a result-oriented leader and a man of few words.
Loss, and I want to use this opportunity to also give condolence to the bereaved family. But NDC and also Greater Accra, of course, we've lost a very good leader that we all look up to.
Ghana has lost a gem. He was a gentleman by all standards. Spoke few words, but always made his points clear for everybody to understand. At this point, I can only wish the family well and strength in this very difficult moment.
President John Dramani Mahama, while commiserating with the family, reiterated that the MP's passing came as a great shock and encouraged them to remain strong in the face of the loss.
Dapat sa bukan rin kung sa generation ng sektan cuma ko din dahil sa nakikinig related na farong ya farong sin an se anak ibayo si pati so kan si ba si siya bis si an etikasi ada saya futa ada ya fi mashkumi so then I'm feeling when
Meanwhile, the spokesperson for the National Chief Imam, Sheikh Armiya Shaibu, has outlined the post-burial rites in line with Islamic traditions.
I've been told that on Sunday or so, that one is a decision for the family to take. But I've been told that on Sunday there will be the prayer. I'm not too sure whether that will be the final prayer. But it's called, depending on the tradition of Islam that you belong to. Sometimes you have the 3-day funeral service, a prayer session. We have the 7th day and we have the 40th day. But depending on Islamic tradition you belong to, for some, 3rd day is the final. For some, 7th day is the final. For some, after the 7th day, we go to the 40th day and we'll do the final funeral session of prayer.
The Ghana National Mosque here in Kanda, Accra, was the meet-me there for many Ghanaians, particularly politicians and members of parliament for that matter, who were gathered here to join the Janaza prayer and to commiserate with the family of the late Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East, Mahama Naza Ture. They have eulogized him for his persona or the role he played as a legislator, and for many he will be missed dearly. Reporting for Channel 1 News, Fawzuma Saudu, Accra.
Now, the President, John Dramani Mahama, has condemned the recent assault on teachers, describing the trend as unacceptable. He particularly expressed concern over the handling of an assault case involving students of Kadi Senior High School, stressing that acts of violence against educators must be dealt with firmly. The President made these remarks at the Ghana National Association of Teachers NAT Delegates Conference. Channel 1 News' presidential correspondent Takosia Ochiri was there.
Teachers at the conference outlined a myriad of challenges confronting the education sector, including issues of pensions, salary increments, the single spine pay policy, and teacher security. A zero-tolerance stance against attacks was declared.
A recent example is the shooting incident that occurred in the Garu district of the Upper East region. Your Excellency, the late Yahya Bukari was a teacher and a NAT member who was a district treasurer of the good people of Garu district and was shot dead in line of duty. Again, a teacher was seen on a social media being beaten by his own students at Kede SHS in the Eastern region. What was the reason for not allowing them to cheat during examination? Should any individual or a group of people attack any teacher in Ghana without any cause, we shall invoke the spirit and solidarity of touch one, touch all. Touch one.
The President, showing clear disgust at the recent trend of attacks, condemned the action.
Indeed, I saw that video of I think it was a maths teacher being beaten because when he was invigilating, he refused to allow our children to cheat. And they had a sense of entitlement. And so why did you not allow us to cheat? And the unfortunate thing is that the matter went to the police station, and the parents of the students went to the police, and they said they settled the matter amicably. I mean, how is that? This is assault, it's criminal, you know. But when we inquired, the police also said, I think the teacher was compensated, so he didn't want to press charges anymore. But I said, at least the children should have been booked, they should have been taken through the legal process, and at least, if nothing at all, they should have been bonded to be of good behavior for a period of time.
President Mahama also addressed calls for an immediate review of the single spine pay policy.
The spine is very crooked now, and everybody is unhappy. Everybody is unhappy with the spine. And so, of course, TUC raised it with us and asked if we could look at the whole salary structure again. And I can say that we're very willing to do that.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Education has assured teachers that ongoing discussions are underway to review pension schemes.
Let me assure you that Excellency John Dramani Mahama will reset pensions with a revision of Act 766 to respond to some of the institutional and administrative challenges confronting its implementation and to improve, if he can, what will become the lump sum in order to guarantee post-retirement security.
Now, the coalition of unpaid teachers is calling on government to prioritize their demands for payment of over 10-month salary arrears. They describe the delay in the payment of their salary arrears as a matter of priority rather than neglect, and are charging the government to act swiftly on the demands. The group also called for the issuance of remaining staff IDs and the inclusion of missing names on both the master list and the revalidation list, among other concerns. Channel 1 News' Manuel Ayama has more.
Despite staging a protest in September 2025 and engaging relevant bodies, the association says that its concerns still persist, including non-payment of arrears, with some members dating up to 15 months.
As it stands, the arrears owed amount to 10 months for teachers who assumed duty in January 2025, 14 months for teachers who were placed on the payroll in November, and 15 months for those placed on the payroll in December but assumed duty on 10th of September 2024. We appreciate the Ghana Education Service, GES, for issuing staff identification numbers to most of our members. However, a few teachers are still without staff identification numbers.
The coalition further acknowledges that the education sector faces several challenges, which has contributed to their demands not being prioritized. However, it is calling on government to resolve their concerns.
Issues with salary arrears cut across not just the education sector. Even our colleague nurses have also not received their arrears. So it's like a matter of priority. It's a matter of priority right now as to whom they would attend to in the nearest possible time.
It again reiterates that it will stage another protest and take legal actions if their concerns are not addressed by end of January.
To follow the laid down legal procedures, we'll seek legal consultations and advice, then we'll take it up from there for our issues and concern to be addressed should government not address our concerns this January.
For Channel 1 News, Manuel Ayama.
You're watching Channel 1 Newsroom on Channel 1 Television. Still ahead. Businesses begin to reduce prices of goods and services following reforms to the VAT system. More on that when we return. Please stay with us.
Hey Ghana, so you people know Miss Brother once more. If you knew, it's your boy. Kill them all, kill them all. But this time, I'm not only killing mosquitoes, I am killing the grades. See? This wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have the perfect mosquito-free atmosphere. Thank you, Out Insecticide. And yeah, Out Mosquito Coil. For a mosquito-free atmosphere, trust Out to... You are not serious.
Out Insecticide. So ya boa, faha.
10 years of unforgettable memories
breathtaking sights, unlimited excitement, new friendships. And this March, we're turning it all the way up. Get ready for the road trip of a lifetime. 8 epic days, 14 regions, 1 legendary caravan. We roll from Greater Accra through the Eastern region, cruise into the Northern and Upper East regions, vibe through the Western region, and hit many more iconic destinations across Ghana. It's culture, it's adventure, it's pure discovery with the best people and the best vibes. Expect non-stop fun, endless scenic views, deep cultural immersion, new networks, and friendships and memories that will outlive the journey. Seats are limited, and this is the 10th anniversary. You cannot miss it. Watch out for details soon.
Yeah, welcome back. Up next is Channel 1 Business with Nashika Caesar.
Fresh year, fresh fire. Catch 3 hot new shows every weeknight on Aquaba Magic this January. Lap Manor premieres on 5th January 2026 and shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Market Queens Season 2 is back from 6th January 2026 and every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Bloodline premieres on 8th January and shows Wednesdays and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. 3 shows, pure magic. Aquaba Magic, Ghana's most loved storyteller.
Well, Nashika is here in studio. Nashika, what do you have for us?
Well, we are going to talk about the President John Dramani Mahama's first 1 year in office.
Yeah, it's 1 year already.
It is.
Okay, give us the economic assessment.
Now, President John Dramani Mahama's first year in office has been marked by macroeconomic stabilization, as data from the Ministry of Finance point to a strong economic turnaround. Inflation has slowed sharply, interest rates have fallen, and economic growth has strengthened, laying the groundwork for high expectations in the administration's second year. In the following report, Emmanuel Opon looks at some of the key economic indicators that shaped the government's first year.
Ghana's economy appears to have turned a corner in the first year of President John Dramani Mahama's administration after a period marked by high inflation, inexpensive borrowing, and weak growth. Data from the Ministry of Finance shows the economy grew by 6.1% in the first 3 quarters of 2025, up from 5.7% in the same period last year. The fastest pace growth outside oil sector was even stronger, with non-oil GDP expanding by 7.5%, supporting job creation. Inflation fell sharply, dropping from 23.8% at the end of 2024 to 6.3% by November 2025, its lowest level in nearly 6 years, easing pressure on households. Lower inflation helped drive down Treasury bill rate from 30% to about 11%, cutting government borrowing costs. The cedi also posted its strongest gains in years, while external reserves and trade balances improved. These gains prompted credit rating upgrades by Fitch, Moody's, and S&P, pointing to growing economic stability.
Now, shoppers across the country are beginning to experience some relief as businesses adjust prices downward following recent reforms to the value-added tax VAT system. The government's decision to abolish the COVID-19 levy and 3% flat rate had reduced effective VAT on goods and services to 20%. Daniel Odumensa reports.
I just bought a few items from the shop
to verify if the VAT reforms have indeed taken place or have indeed been implemented by shops that do issue receipts. From the receipt, I could see 15% VAT, get fund, levy, charge 2.5%, and then the NHIL 2.5%. So indeed, the 1% COVID-19 levy and then the 3% flat rate have all been removed.
Checks at several consumable goods shops in Accra reveal that the levies are no longer being applied, with prices on basic items reflecting the adjustments. Retailers say the changes are already showing up in their billing systems, and point-of-sale receipts indicate reduced charges compared to previous weeks. Mercy Kobi, a shopper, welcomed the development, describing it as a much-needed easing of financial pressure.
I feel so happy because the last time I purchased, I know the amount of money I paid because of the levy. Now, I only pay for NHIL and then get found and the VAT. So I feel okay.
Another shopper who spoke on condition of anonymity noted that the impact will be felt more if more items are purchased.
You will see the significant reduction if you buy in bulk, but if you buy in smaller quantities, you don't really see the reduction.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Revenue Authority says public education campaigns are ongoing to ensure consumers benefit fully from the reforms.
The government says this VAT revision will put back 6 billion cedis into the pockets of Ghanaians, thereby easing the cost of living for consumers. For Channel One Business, I am Daniel Oduro-Mensah.
Now, the Volta Aluminium Company, Valco, is advancing plans to fully operationalize 2 port lines by 2027 as part of a broader effort to revitalize its smelter operations. The move is expected to significantly increase aluminium output, aligning with government and industry efforts to promote value addition in primary aluminium production. There's more in the following report by Daniel Sakiti.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Volta Aluminium Company, Dr. Robert Sambian, says the smelter is steadily returning to sustainable operations. Addressing the media after a tour of the facility by members of the board, Dr. Sambian disclosed that Valco is currently operating 122 cells, with plans underway to re-energize an additional 78 cells to enable the 2 port lines to run at full capacity.
Currently, the deployable capacity is 2 port lines, and the 2 port lines have 200 ports, but we are doing 122 today and are moving further to re-energize the 78 ports. Then we will have extra volumes to pass through the value-added production line that we have just toured. By close of the year, we hope to be at 150 cells, and so with that, we will continue to pursue in 2027 to fully ramp up to 200 ports.
Meanwhile, Board Chairman Horace Ankra has assured management of the board's commitment to supporting sound policies and strategic decisions aimed at restoring Valco's competitiveness and turning around the company's fortunes.
We will make sure that we are not managing, but assisting Valco to making sure that they get to where they want to get to.
Let's now bring you an update on how the currency is performing on the interbank market. And that's it for Channel One Business. Sanda, back to you.
Thank you so much, Ashix. To some other stories now. And almost 1 year into President John Dramani Mahama's second term, Ghanaians are taking stock of the administration's performance across key sectors. Channel One News' Jude Duncan examines the much-publicized Operation Recover All Loot, that's the oral initiative, assessing its implementation after a year in office and weighing its achievements or shortcomings so far.
Operation Recover All Loot was unveiled as a flagship anti-corruption policy by President John Dramani Mahama in a run-up to the 2024 general elections. Following his electoral victory, the president set up a committee chaired by Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa to receive petitions and intelligence on alleged corruption. The committee was tasked with gathering information on suspected corrupt activities and referring such cases to the relevant law enforcement agencies for investigations and possible prosecution. Among high-profile cases currently under probe are those involving the former director of the National Signals Bureau, Kwabena Edubuahin, the National Service Ghost Name Scandal, and the SkyTrain Scandal, which implicates former board chairman of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, Professor Christopher Yao Ekumfi. The Member of Parliament for Menchia South, Nana Eje Bafuwa, contends that the government's decision to discontinue corruption cases initiated by the previous administration against some NDC members signaled the early setbacks of the oral initiative.
I think that the Attorney General started failing the very day he filed the Nolly Prosequa in respect of members of the NDC who were standing trial prior to the government taking office.
So Dr. Dufour and the likes.
Yes, the government started failing because there's no discrimination in terms of public funds. There's no discrimination in terms of public funds as to, there's nothing like MPP money. There's not like NDC money.
State funds.
State funds. And so if you decide to let one go and prosecute the other, simply because the person you let go belongs to the same political party, then, of course, from that very day...
But I don't think the reasons for, letting go, as you put it, was because they are NDC members. Reasons were given. Are you saying all of the reasons given by the reasons were not satisfactory?
If the reasons were legitimate, you should have let them go through the full rigors of the trial and let the court decide. If indeed he was convinced, but the AG is not a judge. Yes, of course, he's a lawyer, he can evaluate the facts and take a certain view. But the AG sometimes takes a view, goes to court, and fails. That tells you that the AG's view is not gospel.
In response, Oral Committee member and private legal practitioner Martin Pebu has defended the Attorney General's approach to oral-related cases, assuring that more prosecutions are expected within the year.
You may have something to say, because on the face of it, once the Unibank case where the Attorney General accepted the plea bargain, and then he's not accepting the plea bargain in the National Service Scandal, yes, you can't fault a citizen who thinks that it's discriminatory, it's pick and choose. Yeah, you can. That's on the face of it. But when we drill deeper, we begin to understand why the Attorney General did so. You see, when the Attorney General accepted the plea bargain from the Dufours, that's the Unibank case, people bayed for his blood. We kept baying for his blood. People said, no, 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 no. The very thing that Sam did in the ambulance case. I remember the ambulance case, like what Godfrey Dami refused to collect the money. No, I want prosecution, I want prosecution. That's what people did to the Attorney General. Say, no, it's a slap on the wrist. How will people reform if you don't jail them? Meanwhile, this Unibank case is fraught with a lot of negative things and a lot of doubts and loopholes. So you can see that as time goes on, the Attorney General has been saying it, that there are more oral cases coming. So it's the AG who said it. There are more oral cases are coming. That's why I said 2026 will be fireworks, more prosecutions, more recovery of the loot, and more of stopping the bleeding.
Now, chiefs and residents of Jura and Persi in the Western region have expressed disappointment with the Minerals Commission over what they describe as weak oversight of PRP mining companies' Chinese-led illegal mining activities on their lands. They accuse the company of operating without benefiting the community and allegedly using vigilante groups to intimidate residents. Channel 1 News' Western Bureau Chief Akwesi Ejenim reports from Jura and Persi.
This heavily degraded site caused by illegal mining activities is located in the dry area of the Nzima East municipality in the Western region. Checks with the Minerals Commission indicate that PRP Mining Company, which holds responsibility for the concession, has a mining lease but lacks both environmental and operational permits. At a press conference, the chiefs and people of Dra and Pansia told Channel One News that despite repeated demands for PRP to present its environmental permits, the company has instead allowed some Chinese nationals to carry out illegal mining activities with impunity. They attribute this situation to what they describe as the Minerals Commission's failure to effectively enforce its regulatory mandate.
PRP no, omo buy, don't prospecting lands in the trade. Now you call money also on the EP. I'll be a Jumano. It is some family listening there. There was some listening. I said, do one family Jumano on this way. You call almost a paper no calm, or the beba, every single or one family. Sanka EP Umua, more EP paper vida, or body Kuman Tanase. A higher museum, Paha. Where you say, and you say, where you say, and you say, no, I can say, Lomo bomb will be Antanase. Or bomb the paper and better, so abandon their man. Entirely a Mineral Commission for 1 year.
Nana Kojo Mensah further stated that the mining activities have brought no benefit to the community, prompting their demand for the land to be allocated to the government-responsible cooperative mining program.
You see, Osha, as I saw on Bahom, the open the Asasa Pa community and BBB and Films. And the Ayamia, every point I'm from or Hanny said. And one of Korea have moved worship. Lokatia, I born and I could do Mensah tossing in the division chief, Duran Panse. Some of the Kevin Taylor or Dabuchi. Also, the China for baby behind man. Omoye Galamsi. The China for some China for Yamahadu. PRP company. And Mukita China for election time campaign. I have called Mobina. This is you are from Kolaya. A demand you are from Kolaya, no more. Yabaswa, Anye. It is stressed. A person has me bring a bam Ghana man will be at say. Nka assassin ka creating park community mining.
Some concerned youth of Dra also blamed PRP's Chinese-led Galamsey operations for the influx of drugs and rise in criminal activities in the area.
The Chinese say Galamsey na banded this is a money be paid because they want. I'm a drugs. Every young father saying Kolana no mukra no mono. A friends who crew in a team na dajini. Good to I feel we cry at Timuano. Good before 18. And on Mobaha. Some the pen and Aquacum. I didn't tell you if you say issue. And Aqua report. And so, Uncle Siaga. Young for an Antonchan. Sad PRP company on by Obahache. Almost to 2 years in. Yapasa abandoned in fear. Because on one than what they say, or fee. On the party MPP time now by no Nana Pool, the party about power until Bay Juma. Satam Sunni and Tuaba. Which you let say, where MPP knew. It was a binary the A in fever.
Yes, you're watching Channel One Newsroom on Channel One Television. Still to come. Ghana Football Association bans 2 Division 1 teams from playing at home after violent behavior of supporters. We have that in a bit. Please stay with us.
Having the right diagnosis can save your life. Welcome to SynLab. Inside the state-of-the-art facility, patients have the benefits of cutting-edge technology, experienced lab technicians, personalized care in our ultra-modern clinic, and most importantly, answers.
I've been doing all my tests at MedLab for over 20 years, till they rebranded to SynLab. You know, he was just a little boy when I started bringing him to MedLab. Oh, sorry, SynLab.
SynLab is the new MedLab.
My family trusts SynLab.
At SynLab, our highly trained personnel give our clients personalized attention every step of the way.
SynLab is the preferred option for your annual routine health checks to avoid negative health surprises.
SynLab is the new MedLab.
SynLab, medical excellence for you.
Hey Ghana, so you people know Miss Brother once more. If you knew, it's your boy. Kill them all. But this time, I'm not only killing mosquitoes, I am killing the great. See? this wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have the perfect mosquito-free atmosphere. Thank you, Out Insecticide. And yeah, Out Mosquito Coil. For a mosquito-free atmosphere, trust Out to... You are not serious.
Out Insecticide. So ya boa, faha.
Yeah, welcome back. Up next is Channel 1 Sports with Bernard Abequatri. Abe, we are not in AFCON, so let's forget about AFCON. Talk to me about what's happening in the domestic league, or is that not what you have for us?
There's an AFCON news too, but let me tell you what's happening in the domestic league.
Very well, please go ahead.
Let's get into it, shall we now? The Executive Council of the Ghana Football Association has indefinitely banned Division 1 League clubs Park Academy and Port City Football Clubs from using their home venues with immediate effect. The decision follows preliminary reports made available to the Executive Council regarding violent incident that occurred during Park Academy's match against FC Ashgold 04 and Port City Football Club's fixture against True Democracy, both played over the past weekend. In the interim, the Ghana Football Association's competitions department will designate alternative venues for the affected clubs' upcoming home matches, taking into consideration the travel distance for away teams. The association has commenced processes to gather all relevant facts in order to establish a comprehensive and accurate account of what transpired in the reported matches. Away from Division 1 football, let's talk about the Ghana Premier League. And interestingly, Media Mercy, who finished the first round of the Ghana Premier League at the top of the table, have set their sights on clinching what would be a second Premier League title in 4 years. Their title ambitions have been further strengthened by ending their first half of the Ghana Premier League season at the summit, underlining their strong position heading into the second round. My colleague Gabi Ofe has more in this report.
Among the 18 Ghana Premier League clubs, Mediama Sporting Club were the happiest at the end of the first round, having finished top of the table with 34 points. The Mauve and Yellows sealed a strong first round campaign in the final fixture against Accra Hearts of Oak, where familiar face Salim Adams stunned his former employers with a decisive moment at the TNA Stadium in Takwa.
The ball a lot more. Into the box now, Salim with a chance, Salim!
It marked his second goal of the season for Mediama Sporting Club in 14 appearances, a performance that clearly delighted head coach Ibrahim Tanko.
I think we told them we are doing everything right. The only thing we have to do is to make to use of our chances, and then I think Salim Adams did it very well, and 3 points, very happy.
For Mediama Sporting Club, board chairman Dr. Tony Obin has revealed that the board is very pleased with the performance so far under head coach Ibrahim Tanko.
We had a strategy for the year, for the season, and our strategy is for us to go to the top. Nothing should stop us from going to the top. So I could, as you would realize, we got in a couple of players to beef both the defense and attack. And then we got in a world-class coach, as you know. So our intent was quite clear right from the beginning of the season.
The Mauve and Yellows last won the Ghana Premier League title in the 2022-2023 season, finishing with 60 points, a feat that earned them the right to represent Ghana in the CAF Champions League the following campaign. Board chairman Dr. Tony Obin believes the current head coach Ibrahim Tanko has the capacity to guide the team to another league title this season.
Tanko is a top-notch coach. He's got the experience. He's been a player at the highest level. He's played in Europe. He's played for the Black Stars and has been coaching for a long time, both internationally and locally. So the result speaks for itself. As I said, we are on top and he's doing well. There were a few glitches at a point.
The second round of the Ghana Premier League is set to kick off on Sunday, January 11, 2026, with Mediama Sporting Club facing Hoho United at the TNA Stadium in the Match Day 18 fixture.
Let's just wrap up with what's happening at the African Cup of Nations. And Nigeria are currently taking on Mozambique in the round of 16 of the African Cup of Nations, leading by 4-0. The Super Eagles advanced from the group stage with 3 wins, showing a potent attack and a solid defensive record. Mozambique reached the knockout stage for the first time in their history, finishing as one of the best third-place teams, and the Black Mambas will look to build on that achievement. The winner of this game, of course, which is Nigeria, looks likely face the potential winner of the Algeria and DR Congo game. That's the very latest from the world of sport, and I am Bernard Abekoche.
Thank you so much, Bernard Abekoche. And that's how we wrap up today's edition of Channel One Newsroom. For more stories, go to our website, channel1newsonline.com. On YouTube, you can find Channel One TV. Do subscribe. You can also download our news app on the Google Play Store, Channel One Newsroom. I am Umaru Sandamado. It's been a pleasure coming your way. Thank you so much.